Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld again, and today, well, we're going to take a look at my favorite game mode in Battlefield 5, which is Frontlines. And if you've played this one before, you'd probably know why, but you'd also know why it's still kind of broken, and it probably needs a bit of a tweak from DICE. In fact, maybe you haven't heard, but it's actually already been tweaked since launch, as previously the last objectives were bombs instead of MCOMs, and that made it almost impossible to get through. So the question is, what is it about Frontlines that makes it so fun, but still so infuriating at the same time? Well, that's what we're going to take a look at today. Alright, so to kick off, I just want to start by acknowledging that whenever you say something is the best on the internet, people are obviously going to disagree. And so let's just make it clear before we start that I personally think Frontlines is the best mode in Battlefield 5, and I do realise that some of you guys might not. But just hear me out. Here's my thinking. Well, firstly, if you've visited this channel before, well, there's a good chance you'd know by now that I'm a big fan of tactical shooters. And I think when it comes to using tactics and strategy, well, obviously in the smaller player cap game modes, a single player or a squad has a much bigger chance to influence the outcome of a game. Another thing I'm a big fan of is linear-based game modes, and well, obviously the big one in the Battlefield series is Rush. And unless you're super new to the game, you've probably realised by now that that's not in the game yet. It's actually coming very soon, apparently maybe only on a temporary basis, which is another issue entirely that I might even talk about in an upcoming video. Probably the obvious replacement we have now is Breakthrough, but once again, that's a 64-player mode, and it can get ridiculously busy on some of the maps. And so I think at the end of the day, as we'll talk about in just a sec, even though it's not ideal, for players like me, really all we have left at the moment is 32-player Frontlines. So why do I say it's not ideal? Well, firstly, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I do think Frontlines is the best game mode at the moment, and I think you definitely should try it out. But I mean, we all know it's not that great in a lot of ways, right? I mean, first and foremost, it's a lot more grindy than Rush is. And that's because for those of you who haven't played it before, well, you capture points in order, but the issue is, unlike in Rush, the attacker and defender can switch. And so basically, in a lot of games, when neither team can break through, it can degenerate into a mind-numbing slugfest until the timer runs out, going back and forth between two objectives. Those of you guys who have played the mode, well, you'd probably know there's an even bigger issue, but let's talk about this one first. And personally, I think the easiest way to fix this one, even though they'll never actually do it, is to make the attackers and defenders set for the whole round, which would basically turn it into exactly what the push game mode is from a game like Insurgency Sandstorm. The other obvious way to fix a grindy game mode is to take a page from World War I thinking and to add in more vehicles. Not necessarily just tanks, but also cars or maybe even motorcycles. Or at the very least, they just need to reduce the timer, or maybe even remove it altogether and replace it with some kind of ticket bleed system like there is in Rush, so that the games end quicker and they never end in a draw. Now, like I said before though, unfortunately grindy games aren't the biggest issue in Frontlines currently, because a lot of the times games aren't going long, they're going short. And I think it's got a lot to do at the moment with the game being new and players being green, but people, like usual in Battlefield, just aren't playing the objective. And in a 32-player mode, like I said, all it really takes is one squad to turn the game around. And that's exactly what's happening in Frontlines almost every game. Quite literally, actually, because the way that things work now, one good squad can just blast through and cap all the objectives, unfortunately, before the other team can react. The problem is that unlike in Rush, there really isn't a defined out of bounds until you get to the last two MCOM objectives, and also that the flags cap very quickly. And so what a lot of players don't realise is that as soon as a flag goes down, what you've really got to do is run straight away to that flag, or even redeploy to get there quicker, or else you'll lose the next one before you can get there in the first place. And the worst thing is that this steamroll happens on a regular basis, maybe 5 or even 10 games in a row, which leads to situations like this, where half the losing team gets sick of it and just leaves and finds some other game mode to play in. And in a nutshell, apart from the grind, it's all down to the fact that even though there seems to be some shuffling at the end of the round, there doesn't seem to be any skill-based matchmaking, there's no mid-round shuffling, and of course there's no way to switch teams. Now, I'm sure the matchmaking and team switching problems are issues in other modes as well, but obviously they're going to be much more obvious when there's only 32 players. And I can just see when Rush is finally introduced that this same problem is going to happen in that mode as well, which would be a real shame, especially if it rotates in and out. But like I said, the problem Rush doesn't have are those ridiculously long stalemate rounds where you stay on the same two objectives for like 30 minutes. And so when I say that I think Frontlines is the best mode, I should add something along the lines of that I think it's currently the best mode, but I think probably the best solution to Frontlines is just bring Rush into the game as soon as possible, and then I think everyone's just going to abandon it. But with that being said, that's not a very nice solution, and it's a bit of a sledgehammer. So to sum up all of our points, what can DICE do to actually fix Frontlines and make it more enjoyable? Well, like I said before, they've got to dump the timer. They've got to add in tickets or something to replace that, and maybe add in some more vehicles to help teams break through. Also, they've got to add in really clearly defined out-of-bounds areas and maybe use the retreater mechanic on every objective so that defenders are actually defending when the enemy team is attacking. And also maybe even just increase the amount of players or time it takes to cap a flag so that at the very least, if you are getting steamrolled, you do have a chance of getting there in time. But anyway, guys, I guess that just about wraps up this video, so make sure you let me know what you think of Frontlines in the comment section below. And also, feel free to tell me I'm wrong about any of these points. If you think one of the other game modes is better than Frontlines, I want to know about it. And if you hate Frontlines, I want to know that too. As always, though, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please feel free to check out the links in the description if you want to see any more of these videos. And also, don't forget you can find my Twitter and Discord links down there as well if you want to keep in touch. And as always, until next time, see you later and have a good one.